Welcome to Ménage with the MariJayne Maven Podcast, where we spark up conversation, verbal elation, stimulation, share our situations, temptations, education, relaxations, and elevations. Hello, everyone. Thank you once again for joining us on Ménage with the MariJayne Maven. So I'm going to start by saying I am a little sick. I don't know what's going on. I'm sure it probably has to do with the great
Smoke
weather.
in the
Yeah,
air,
the
and not
smoke
the
in the
weed
air.
smoke.
We're in Cali.
The burning smoke, the
I'm sure we have fans from everywhere. So, if you're an international, let me tell you a little bit about Sacramento, California. No, in California right now, unfortunately, we are surrounded by tons of fires, and it is affecting the air. So I sound a little funky. So forgive me.
Me too.
Yeah,
I think we
it's
all
not
do.
cute.
I
Not
think
cute.
anyone who breathes.
But it's okay. Well, we're good. We're good. So I do want to welcome you once again to our second episode. Give a shout out to my co-hosts, my ladies over here.
Hey.
Go ahead. Yeah. Give shout outs.
Shout out, y'all.
Hey.
Yeah. Don't be
What's up?
afraid of the
Vita?
mic.
Me? Hey.
So
Who that over there? Is she talking?
it's so Vita right
It's
there,
Vita.
and Lucy B.
Yeah.
And also our very special guest, who I'm so super excited to have. This young man here, this young king, is doing great things,
thank you.
and will continue. This is just the beginning, just the foundation. And today's guest is Brandon Bolton, and we're going to talk a little bit about what he's doing, how he is going to bring Sacramento another fantastic Black-owned cannabis business.
Yes.
He is a recent graduate of the Core Equity Program with the Sac Asian Chamber of Commerce, and it is the Grow Green program.
Sacramento Grow Green.
Thank you. I don't know. My
No,
brain
it's a long.
when it switches
name.
that up.
It's a tongue twister.
Yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit about his journey. Also talk about what his plans are. And this really plays into what our topic or what our theme is today. So I'm going to get into that really quickly, and then we're going to go ahead and do our spark and salutations. So today's quote is from Paulo Coelho, and I might be saying that last name incorrectly. Thank you. I'll see.
Paulo.
That's why I wanted you to talk.
Paulo.
There
That's
you go.
what it is.
He is, I was introduced to him in the past couple of years, reading a fantastic book, The Alchemist. If you have not read it, please, as soon as you are done listening or watching this, get on whatever your
I
Google
haven't
Books.
read that yet.
Please
I gotta
do.
add that to my.
Please do.
List
It
of
is
books to read.
life-changing. When I read it, I felt like somebody was standing over my shoulder, writing for me. Like I thought, like the pages were empty, and they were just writing everything that I needed to hear,
I have
needed
some
to
more
see.
homework to do.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't read that either?
No, I have not.
Oh no.
Yeah, I
Yes.
definitely have some homework.
Yes. That is, like I said, life-changing. I highly credit that for the change that I've been able to make in my life in the past 3 years. My way of thinking, my focus. Being able to identify my passion, which then led me to identify my purpose. So this talks a little bit about it because I definitely was someone who chose to live in fear without knowing that I was choosing to live in fear and not really identifying what I was supposed to be doing in this universe, what puzzle piece, that I was, because we're all just puzzle pieces in this big, vast universe.
Right,
So
I hear that.
the quote is, "There is only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve, the fear of failure."
that
1,000% true, right?
Yeah.
Right?
I
Pretty
got-
deep.
I
Pretty
have
deep.
something to add to that. So somebody told me before, like it's the quote that kind of always stood with me, and it was, "Fail fast and fail often." So that kind of always stood with me
Yep.
though, because it's just like always fail, but see what works, see what don't work, try again. And,
Yeah.
You're trying. If you're failing, you're at least making an attempt.
You're making progress.
Yes, I can't even lie. Coming here, this is so new for myself. Coming in public speaking. This is actually only the second time that I've done so, and I was really afraid talking with my sister, my partner, and I. you know, in this journey, you know, we realize we're going to have to do things
Yes.
like this. We're going to have to face our fears. I have high anxiety, which cannabis actually completely helps
Right,
kind of
let
how
me
I got
tell you.
into
Preach.
the industry, you know. So,
1000%.
you know, committing to coming here and being here with you wonderful ladies, you know, this is
Thank
a great time, a great opportunity, and I really do appreciate you all for having me.
Oh my gosh. No, I am grateful and so appreciative for you being a guest, but also for being the young man that we need to kind of catapult in Sacramento to let other young men know, oh, you know what, I can go through that program as well. You know, and like what step out of fear and get into this. And why not? It's owed to us. You know, let's be
Exactly.
real.
Yes.
You know,
We
if
have
the
to take
money's
it.
out there, you absolutely have to take it.
Up for grabs.
And you know, it's so much more than being able to get the funding and be able to start your business, but the education that comes along with it is priceless.
Yes.
And I'm sure that you can speak to that. But
Yeah.
it's interesting that you said that you're nervous, because where was the first event that you did some speaking? Where was
So my very first public speaking event was actually at Miss MJ's event at the Colors of Cannabis at the Brick
Yes.
House. Oh, lovely event. You're such
Thank
a wonderful
you.
host.
But
Yes,
you
thank
were
you
a
so much.
natural. I wouldn't
Right
have known it was your
job.
first time.
That's
Oh,
what I was
wow.
getting to.
Where you-
Yeah.
That's
he did
exactly
Look
what I
what
was
we
getting to.
discovered.
Right?
It's definitely a team. My sister, my partner, she helps out
Awesome.
completely, and that's really we're coming in this industry. It's all about homework. Like I said earlier, I do homework. I read articles all the time, every single day from
Have
all
to.
sources. You know, you have to stay scouring
Yes.
the internet for
Constantly.
news that's not
stay
there,
up to
especially
date,
being from
exactly.
in our kind of in a coming from where we're coming from, this disadvantaged community.
Yes.
They're not trying to kind of show us the information. They don't really want to show us the information because they are afraid of the power that we have through this core program, through the Sacramento Grow Green
Knowledge is
program.
power, though.
And
That's
knowledge is
Yes.
power.
It is.
Really, in
And
a
I
team.
really can't stand the hoarding of information. It really gets under my skin. So anytime I see an opportunity like, ooh, there's good stuff being shared there, I'm like, yeah, keep doing that, you know? Yeah.
And the power that we have is to be able to decipher what we believe, what's truth and what our truth is, and move from there. And that's also what's scary about us being able to have this knowledge, because then we find out things that we're like, we always kind of knew, and then there's the proof,
Right,
you know?
exactly.
So
Yes, and it hurts when you find out that
Right.
information is there, and,
Like, it's
and that
always
those
been
people that
there.
smile at you, those are the ones that are kind of dangling in front of you like a carrot and just snatching it every time.
Yeah, but the true joy becomes in that when you become a success despite those people, and then those same people are coming to you for help.
Right.
In the
like,
future.
That's what's happened to cannabis. Like, the same people who were trying to hold her
Oh,
down
yes.
are
That's
now
just
trying to get a
motivational
piece of
fuel,
the action.
though.
They're like,
Yes.
oh, we're
Like-
sorry, MariJayne. Can we have some? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
right.
yeah. And let me tell you, my girl over here, she is the first one. I meet somebody, I tell her about something, and she's very good at just kind of keeping it together. Like, okay, really, really, really. And then once these people show their true colors, she's like, "No, I didn't want to say, but," And she's always keeping. So see, that's you need people like that. You need in
I
your
was
in your
gonna
tribe,
hold
your
that
circle.
just to be nice,
Yes.
so I could assess more.
Yeah.
But yeah,
See, once you guys will always hear me say, I'm an Aries through and through. I always picked up on it, that she felt some kind of way, but that's something that has helped us to develop this friendship, and something that I appreciate about her. And you need those people.
Yes.
My husband is also
'Cause
the
there's
other one
sharks in
for
the
me.
water.
Oh
They're
yeah.
swimming.
Oh, and they're swimming.
know.
And I was watching. And we'll, kind of get on topic here in a bit, but I was watching the Untold Stories of Hip Hop, Angie Martinez's new show, and she was talking to DJ Khaled, and he was telling a story
the
about,
best.
right. Oh, look, we can. That's a whole other thing. When that man first got the keys and was on Snapchat,
Right.
I woke up every
can't
morning
watch
like,
his Snapchat.
what is he
I'm
gonna
done
say?
with
Oh,
it.
now
I can't.
it's
wait, save
it's
it
past.
for pop topic.
It's
save
past.
It for pop.
It's past, but it was motivating to me at that time. I saw what he was doing, but he talked about how his family got ran up on, home invasion, whatnot. And what he said he realized was that they had success in their area where he was, because he comes from a successful family, father, businessman. And so when you are successful, there's always somebody there trying to bring you down. And it's sad, because I'm the type of person where it's like, don't hold me down. Let's build up together. Let's see what you have
Right.
that
Yes.
can, that can benefit me. We can have a reciprocal
Yes, it's us
relationship on
versus all.
that.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not me versus you. That's
Exactly.
really how it has
You
to
know,
be,
you know.
especially for Sacramento's community.
Oh, right?
now.
Unity in the community.
Yes, right?
Well, in
You know what I'm
order
saying?
to feel
everybody
like you
just-
can add to something, right, to
Yeah.
coexist and do this together, you have to first have something and feel like you have something. So if a person doesn't feel like they have it or they deserve it, that's why they start coming for you, because now it's a me versus them because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
lacking, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
Such
yeah.
a-
yeah, we got to start from the inside.
We
out.
do. I do. And I will give Sacramento its props. We are seeing that change happen.
Exactly.
We're seeing it within cannabis. We're seeing it within, the
Yeah,
core
we're,
equity program.
Yeah,
really,
we're gonna show that unity
we
with
need
this
the help.
community.
We're forcing the change. That's
Yeah.
really what it is.
that's- yep.
We're going to we actually just went to City Hall this past Thursday.
fantastic.
And I seen, which was wonderful, a lot of the first class of core graduates, a lot of people attending and actually showing up to tell the city council, like, hey, this is what we want. This is what we need.
That
this
is
is what needs to change.
fantastic.
Because
And
there's
that's the
strength
only
in
way they'll change
numbers.
it.
Let me
Yes.
tell you, like there's strength in
And-
numbers. People got to come together.
Yeah.
We got to make sure that everybody's, advocating. For
Well, I
what we
love that
want.
because it is providing, first, for you say, some of the first graduating class, to know that they're not just out there doing their own thing and then not coming back and giving back. So that speaks volumes because you know that these people that are getting into the program, that they innately have that in them
They're
to want to be
sticking
able to
with
give
it.
back and help other
That's
people
been one
get
of the
into
most
industry.
wonderful
So
things about this program was going through and meeting the same like-minded individuals that have the hunger, drive, and passion.
that's awesome.
Community, man.
And and from the same community,
Yeah.
it was really a profound experience because I'm an introvert by heart. I work on business plans all day and numbers in my room. I don't really get out.
Yeah.
So to go to these classrooms and to meet these individuals that are somewhat the same or very different, but you have something in common that you could work towards. It's very crucial, and to see those people up there at those events like that, the city hall meetings, and for us to all sit together and group together and really build our own team. We're at the start of this, but we're really starting to see the friendships.
It's the catalyst,
Yes,
right?
That's
Like,
awesome.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's
It
awesome.
really is.
Well, we're jumping right in, to everything, but we cannot forget one of the most important things here, and that's for everybody to spark up. We got to have our spark sesh. This has been such a good conversation. The energy in here is just palpable. So right next to you there, guest.
The honors, Brandon.
Yes, you're able to go
Guest
ahead
of
and get
honor,
that
do
lit
the
for us.
honor.
And while he's doing that,
He's like, hold
we're
on,
going to
wait,
talk
we
just a little bit about, the history of the program itself, the equity program. If people don't know about it, I highly recommend that everybody, does their research in their area, in their county, and see if it is eligible or something that is available. I do know in the state there are 10 jurisdictions that have the funds to be able to bring a program like this to their city. So here in Sacramento, through the Urban League, and through the and through the Sac Asian, Chamber of Commerce, they have these programs. I'm doing a little smash up between the two. So the next class for the Sac Asian Chamber is November the 14th. And if you may have already listened, which I'm sure you have, I'm sure you haven't been able to get enough of us. You've probably listened several times and told friends. But you may have heard last week that our very own Lacey B was accepted, and will be in the program the next class.
So it's official.
Yes.
Okay.
Love that.
Because
So
last time you said you got the paperwork was processed and
application was
accepted, and now
accepted.
you've been.
I'm in. So I had the
Okay.
one-on-one meeting on Monday, so a couple days
Nice.
ago, and we sat down. I told him my vision, what I wanted to do, what I want to bring to Sacramento. So we kind of worked some things out and kind of have a game plan, and waiting for the classes to start. So I'm excited.
that's awesome, and I'm excited for you. And
I'll
you
back
know,
it for you, too.
we'll
I
have
see you
somebody
being the
in.
first operator doing what you're doing, being the biggest at that.
I'm trying
so
to,
that's-
and it's
That's
yeah.
a feat in its own. I see you.
Well,
over there
you
working.
know,
I'm
you
trying. I
got
got a
that
game
fire,
plan.
so that'll prop you up.
Yes.
Because that's the whole purpose, right? Like, I'm still mad at your daddy. Let him know.
Yo, okay. Yeah, my dad stays with fire.
He does.
No.
He does. He does. He does. I mean, I'm sure your dad and your your boyfriend, but I'm sure they're all super proud of you.
Yes,
You're taking a big leap and you're doing something that. And are you the baby?
I'm the oldest. I'm the
Shut
oldest
up.
of 6.
Shut
What?
up.
For
Yeah,
real?
yeah. So my
I
dad
thought she was
has
the baby.
my dad has 3 girls, 3 boys, 2 baby mamas. We should. Yeah, he's So yeah.
You just put your dad's business out there. You just,
I'm just like,
all
I
out
don't
there.
know why I added that. I'm so sorry. But I'm just like,
I'm teasing. It's okay. It's okay. I'm sure your dad's
I'm
like,
the
yes, I
oldest.
do.
He's proud.
Yes,
He's
I
like,
do.
yes, and I
So-
look good doing it
Yeah,
too.
so that
watch
explains it even more. You know, why you the strengths that you have and what I identify in you. So that girl, you're being an example. So before I thought, oh, she was the baby. So
Oh, no.
she's kind of
Oh,
bringing
she
it, but
is. Yeah.
that's
Big
awesome.
sis in the house.
Yeah, that's dope.
repping
I'm
for the
really proud of
fam.
you. So really quickly, like I said, you know, kind of the background of the history of the program, and just most recently, what I'll talk about is the BCC, the Bureau of Cannabis Control, announced that they received a $10 million grant to be able to help the jurisdictions in California that have, you know, access to the equity program or have one developed to be able to give funding. So Sacramento recently received, I want to say 1.2, yeah.
192 million.
There you go.
You know,
There
you got
you
to do your
go.
homework.
Oh, I got to post. Look, I
1.2
have it saved
million,
in my
but I-
phone. I have the.
I'm sorry, 1.92.
Yeah. So I 1 point. Yeah. So L.A. I think received the most, and then Alameda County, Oakland. You know, they received the second amount, which I think was 1.8 or
Yeah, because
something. but-
remember I told you
Somehow
they're
Humboldt keeps
they're
getting a
wanting
lot
to
of money.
move
I don't
into
really understand that, but,
Yeah.
we'll get to that someday.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh and right over there.
Contra
They-
Costa?
Yeah, Contra Costa
Yeah,
wants
okay.
a piece of that equity. Like
Well, they need to.
funding
My
for-
family's from
yeah.
Pittsburgh. I know. I
the good
definitely.
part about this
Exactly.
funding
Yeah.
is that this is so brand new. Like, it's not really a lot of funding. I'm not gonna lie. You know, it does go a long way, but this is the start of that.
Right,
funding,
right.
You know,
It's just
so
showing.
much more is gonna.
You just
roll
have to
in.
show it what you're going to do. You know,
Yes,
show
so
what you can do, and then it'll.
They're being
it'll
held
keep
accountable.
funding.
Yes.
What it is that, you know, to be able to have these programs, it's, you know, it's an honor in a way that
It
the state is
is,
saying,
yeah.
you know, that's why there's only 10 jurisdictions right now. But they want to show and prove, basically. Like they're being, they're being brought to the carpet in a way saying, okay, what are you guys doing, the
Well,
BCC, to make sure that this is happening, that there is equity, that this is an opportunity for everybody? You know,
California's agriculture, and a lot of our agriculture is devastating to the environment. And we see the effects right now with wildfires, right? Because we give so much water to nuts and almonds, which are great. We got Blue Diamond, but it's like, hey, you know, we got to switch up. And cannabis
yeah,
is
the
a
way to do
nice
that.
agricultural
Yes.
product that the state should be focused on because the world wants this lovely flower.
Well, you know,
definitely.
once we have somebody that decides federally, you know, that let's, what is it called when they bring it down? My brain's so foggy. But decriminalize it.
decriminalize it.
Yeah, and bring it down as far as, it doesn't even need to be
Change the
classified.
classes.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be
It
classified
doesn't
the
need
same
to be
place as heroin
It's
and all that.
classified
So
as a Schedule 1
that's what I'm
drug,
saying.
so
Yeah,
I
so
think
when they
Take that
unschedule
away.
it or
Without
deschedule it, whatever it
It's
is.
in that war
Yeah.
on drugs officially.
Right,
That's, you know,
like
that's really
come
what
on.
it is,
The
you know.
people are telling their own government what they want, and the government's like, "No, I'm not going to do it. This is ridiculous."
Yes,
you know?
but we
really
are
bad.
seeing right now,
Right.
currently,
What do we want?
just exactly how screwed up our government is. I mean, I always knew. I'm
And
one of these
thing,
conspiracy
you know,
that I
one
want
thing
shit on.
we're
Yeah.
seeing as well is on the back end of things. I'm going to a lot more events. I'm seeing a lot of these big players, you know, politicians, other things like that, making a lot of partnerships.
Yeah.
You know, before it's federally legal, because that's the crucial step is really when it is federally legal. You know, really having your foot at the door to kind of kick through that as soon as it's
Exactly.
implemented. You know, and that's where I'm seeing a lot of those people come into this space. We're seeing a
That's
lot
fantastic.
more officers and security specialists that you'll never see.
Sister,
Go
yes, we
ahead,
can't
go
forget sister
ahead.
there over there in the session. No, that's fine. But that is absolutely what we need. When I hear a really good friend of ours, my husband's frat brother, he visited recently and said that he's into, you know, political science is his degree, and he definitely wants to get in with legislation.
Legislation.
Thank you. Good Lord. Oh my gosh. So yes, I can speak. And I think that's awesome. And I started talking to him about how we definitely need people that understand,
Yeah.
you know, the benefit of cannabis, the education
Yes,
of, you know,
yes.
providing that to eradicate, you know, all the stigmas and be able to make it as normalized as possible.
And remaining compliant, because that's the name
Yes,
of the game. Remaining
yes.
compliant.
Yes.
Yes,
These
yes.
laws are changing
but
every
but
day
making
almost.
important changes that are
Right.
conducive to success, not to restraint.
So how do you make those changes appropriately? You have to be involved. You have to be part of the
Exactly.
community. You need to be out there
Yes.
growing.
You
You
have to be
need to
meeting
be
people and out these events,
speaking to
so.
people. You know, you need to understand the process entirely and all the options for it if you're going to be making policy.
Yeah.
You know.
And to be able to do that.
It's great too because it leaves room for innovation.
Yes.
As well, and it leaves room for you to really set the standard. You know, that's where I see opportunity at. Is all of this infancy. It's so
Kind of like structuring
early.
and like pioneering the blueprint. 'Cause, like
Yes.
I want to just pioneering the cannabis
Yeah.
culture, like
It's
making it
very
be a part
much.
of
It reminds me
movement.
very much of just the different times in our history, how there's been different forms of movement, a different form of business. So we'll say farming, that was huge, and then we moved into pulling my history class out here, and then we moved a little bit more onto kind of manufacturing, became huge. Then it moved into what we're still currently in, technology. So we have people that are sitting in their bedrooms right now doing some fantastic things that with the right opportunity, that's going to be able to trickle into the cannabis industry.
I
And we got to
cannot
provide
wait
that
till I
opportunity.
can measure your vibes and then measure them again after you smoke.
That will be awesome. Oh my
And
gosh,
like
right?
have some form
Holy
of-
shit.
Yeah, right.
Seeing their
exactly.
color and seeing it all muddled before, and
Look
then
at how
yeah,
much you
doing
yeah,
it.
being able to go. You know what? You need a little blue dream in your life. I'm thinking. Let's hit this
like
real quick.
imagine when the technology can do that with
That would be
the
dope.
culture. Oh my goodness.
I believe when you put something out in the universe,
Yeah,
you're not. If
that
it doesn't,
shit
if you don't
ain't
happen, it's going to somebody
Oh,
else.
it's
So
already
hey,
happening.
Look, oh right, for sure. But this all kind of leads very well into. I just want you to kind of tell us about what qualified you first and foremost, if you don't mind, explaining kind of the different qualification aspects. What qualified you? What motivated you to go and apply, and what your goals are? Just kind of tell us your story with this program. Inspire others out there.
Yes.
Oh, definitely. I'm sorry that the blunt's kicking in. What was the first thing?
No, it's
again?
cool.
What was it?
So I want you to just tell us your story. You can tell us in any way possible. So
okay,
first
okay,
and foremost, because I want people to know.
Introduce your shit.
Yes, right. So I'm gonna tell people really
Where
quickly.
I'm from,
Yeah,
how,
yeah.
how I'm eligible.
Exactly.
Yeah,
What
I
motivated
got
you?
I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
you.
I'm
So-
sure that your sister was probably part of that motivation there. She seems
Yes,
like your biggest
yes,
cheerleader.
yes. Mentor.
Nice. Hey,
Yes.
love it.
Yeah,
True,
so
true.
I grew up here in South Sacramento,
Okay.
Meadowview area.
Okay.
Hey,
me
you
too.
know,
Hey,
shout out.
21st, Matson Drive.
Okay, we get big shout
Mall,
out to here.
RIP.
I'm over here like Elk Grove, Laguna.
But yeah, I've been in this community, and I've always been business oriented and focused. I kind of thought differently always as a kid, driving by and seeing businesses and billboards. Always thought, oh, what could be better suited there, or things like that. And I was, unfortunate, but it happens to be fortunate right now that I came from a kind of a disadvantaged background, low income, struggled a bit, moved around, and actually about all 10 of those zip codes almost.
Okay.
So it's been a whirlwind on the way to here, and actually how I got into the industry, a little bit about just that. I slipped through the cracks here. Got really, really blessed and fortunate to work at Two Rivers and Green Solutions
nice.
and Zen Gardens Wellness when that was actually just starting out, and I actually worked there the grand opening day that kind of started working. So that was really
Raven?
fun. No.
From
she-
Zen Garden?
No,
Zen-
no. I
okay.
only worked there for about 3 weeks, but
Okay.
they're one of those three. I mainly was at Green Solutions with my guy Forrest over there. He's
Okay.
a wonderful
Okay.
guy. But,
Shout out to Zen Garden,
yeah,
which is now Dr. Green Thumbs, but
Okay.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yes.
It's nice. It's nice too. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to show up.
Yeah,
over
you
there.
you definitely have to visit. It's very nice.
And then from that opportunity, which was really at the sale of cannabis, I got really fortunate enough to go work at a cultivation center, cultivating, also doing processing, which is trimming and all of that.
Did that last summer.
nature.
Stuffing pre-rolls and all that.
Right,
So much fun. But yeah.
Yeah, you can make it back, get a little achy at
Yes.
times,
Oh,
but
yes.
it's the payouts are so
Yep.
lovely.
Right.
But and then
And a fun environment too.
yes, yes.
And you're working with weed.
And positive
All day.
weed weed?
All day.
High people?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So did that
It's
kind of
great.
start to pique your interest in
It
that
did,
avenue?
It did.
Okay.
I started to see where the space was, where it was going. I was still kind of skeptical because of the laws around and regulations.
Yep.
Not because I didn't think that they were going to change, just because I wasn't sure how long it was going to take. And I seen a lot of the. Luckily enough, I could see a lot of these other people who use their money to try to get in the industry, and I seen that they weren't having success. And these were multimillionaires that couldn't get in this industry,
Right.
and that started to pique my interest. And I went to run someone's a delivery location. That's really what changed my life.
Okay.
I got a managing job, really wearing all of the hats. I was hiring people, doing the payroll, doing the
Love that.
doing
Look
the
at
vending,
you.
doing everything out of his living room and garage, actually, for a person
that's dope.
staff, doing pretty good numbers. And I realized, why am I doing this and risking my kind of freedom doing this outside this guy's house when I might as well be running my own?
That's
And
good legit.
and before I left, actually, I did help him out. I actually helped him get temporarily licensed before the core program even started. So I've
Wow.
been kind of really doing my own
Okay.
research for the past 4 years on the regulation side. But when the core program, the language for that first came out into regulation, I was actually at that city hall meeting, like when they
Nice.
first announced that, because that was my ticket into really my dream. This is
That's the
I
golden
really,
ticket.
you're right. I always wake up and think, man, this opportunity, like, is this just for me? Like, it's so surreal to
For anybody
Oh, man,
wanting to
this-
get in the cannabis industry, if they didn't jump at this opportunity, it's kind of like just wasting,
Yes.
the opportunity, definitely.
But once again, people are
they have to understand.
Fearful,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's and
And
I
that's
was
what I'm
fearful as
saying.
well.
yes,
Yeah,
and
It's a
the verbiage,
process.
the
It's a
verbiage
process.
when you research is not the
feeling.
easiest to digest,
right.
And I think that
It's
is
a
kind of on
lot.
purpose. That's a
It-
different,
in that
Sure.
one,
It's a
that's
different
one thing. it
episode.
is.
Yeah,
There-
There's
it's
a lot of
different-
discouragement going
Yes.
around because of competition and just people being jealous of the opportunity that really this core program and going through the Sacramento Grow Green. We have. I can't downplay this enough. My sister and I cannot downplay this enough. We are the most important and powerful people at this time.
yes.
no,
Yes.
you ain't lying.
Yes.
That's just that's
Yep.
100% honest. We
Yes.
we have
Yes.
access
Say it.
to this industry where, like I said, multimillionaires have been trying for the last 4 years to get in this industry.
Yep.
They do not have a license. They will not have a license until we up here all get our license.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Tell 'em.
I mean, hey,
So look,
right,
they're
real.
holding licenses for y'all if you do it right.
Right, and the
Period.
funding,
If
yes.
you're about it, just
Yeah.
And build your
Yeah.
team up. You really have to do the homework. That's it's learning and learning. You have to learn accounting, learn
Yes.
everything from the ground up, learn how to run a business.
Right,
Learn everything outside of that. Learn about the business, and this program will actually help you do all of that. They'll put you in the right situation. Say you want to learn how to be a cultivator, a manufacturer, a distributor. They'll put you in those licensed places right now. You could shadow those individuals.
That's awesome. See, I didn't
and,
know that.
learn
Okay.
that experience that way, because that's really hard as well. I was fortunate to get that experience and get in the industry. I probably wouldn't be this far if I didn't. So just having that experience, and starting off, you don't have to create a job in this industry. I'm actually going to need a lot of workforce through the core program as well. There's going to be a lot of core companies that are going to be sourcing from the Sacramento Grow Green program to utilize the workforce and employees, the associates that we need.
That's
which would
fantastic.
benefit the entire community. And while you're helping me build my brand, I'm going to help you build yourself up so you can
Help
go do
me
whatever
help
you
you.
want to
There
go
we
do.
go. There we go.
'Cause, if you want to be a delivery operator, then I want you to come get the experience with me. Also be able to go do that on your own. There's I don't really like when people think there's competition here in Sacramento. It's not competition.
There's
because
so
here.
much
competition.
weed.
Everybody
There's
just
so
gotta
much.
work
There's so much
together.
weed, and so many people that
Everybody.
need to
There's
deliver
enough
or
for
need
everybody.
anything
Check
else.
weed maps every day and see that competition drop.
Right?
There's
Oh.
80% less
Real talk.
competition today
Real talk.
than there was last year today. So the saturation is going away.
Yeah.
This January 1st,
Yeah.
2020 deadline, a lot of these operating businesses that are currently operating here legally, partially, they're actually going to not make that deadline. I talk with representatives over at the city of Cannabis Management of the city of Sacramento.
Okay.
And try to just get try to see, hey, is anybody turning in building permits? Is there any progress done? Just so I could know the competition that's out there and see, And
You're smart as hell. That's what it is.
you got to do your due diligence.
on it, man.
You
That's
have
the
to stick on and do
That's
your
the-
due diligence.
yes.
I
yes.
love
man,
that.
you're a
I
smart
love
man.
that.
That's how you stay ahead of the curve. Really.
So-
Stay ahead
So
of it.
80%, you say?
Yeah.
Less competition.
I mean, it's true.
than
I don't
this
use
time
Weed
last year.
Yeah, I don't use
I
Weed
like
Maps a
those
lot.
numbers.
Yes.
Because
And
I don't-
And I could say that too, because I actually was operating on Weed Maps, out kind of my basement a little bit
Okay.
too. So
Okay. So
But,
Okay.
yeah, so I
and you
definitely
see,
do.
you look one day and it's this
Yes,
company. Let's just say XYZ.
Right, right.
Trees or whatever, and then you go back to look for that same deal and they're not there anymore. So that's very true.
Yes.
It's sad but true.
Just
but
to
the way to
kinda give
stop
you
that
the-
is, like you said, your due diligence, doing your work, taking
So-
advantage of the opportunities. But go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
I was just gonna kind of give a little bit of hard numbers. So there's over about 250 applications in currently. There's only 16 licensed delivery annually here in city of Sacramento and from the state of California. Those 50 operating, like I said, have that deadline, and it's only looking about probably 4 of those are going to get passed.
Wow.
So think about only about 20. There's about 200 applications, and there's over 150 currently operating. That's gonna go down
Yeah.
as soon as
Wow.
January 1st hits.
And
It's
it's going to be reduced by technicalities.
Yeah.
So.
yes.
Wow. So what is how long is the program, and then what is your goal now? What's your next step?
The program is 4 weeks.
Okay.
For a very, very comprehensive week.
I was gonna say
they
that
throw a lot at you.
Has to be. Yeah.
But that's what's the wonderful thing about working really one-on-one with Brandon and Wes over there is whatever stage that you're at, they'll definitely make sure that you fully understand what you need to get to that next step, whatever that may
Okay.
be for you.
Okay.
Nice.
It's different for everyone.
Yes, different strokes for different folks, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
It's not
Okay.
one shoe fits all. And my goals currently in cannabis, I would love to be a vertical operator, a multi-state licensed operator as well. And,
Nice.
Smart.
yeah, really grow. And I really want to commit to uplifting the core program because of the opportunity that I know it's going to give myself
Yes.
and other individuals.
Yeah.
And I really see myself as a person that could go vertical and help as many individuals with equity. My sister, that's one thing in all of our businesses that we have in mind is
Okay.
ownership for our associates. We need to make sure our employees have some
Yes,
skin in the
yes,
game. We need to
yes.
make
We
sure
gotta-
that they know how to invest and know what ownership is.
Yes.
And there's enough. One thing we're starting to find out from pitch days we're having is, the money is there, and a lot of people they don't think that it's there, and it could get spread around. There's
Yeah.
so much that can
Yeah.
come in, and as long as you're not greedy, which we're not profiteers. Profits are important, obviously, but if this is cannabis.
Yes.
This
And
is
it's a
profits are
lifestyle.
coming.
Right.
Yes. And there's so many
Yes.
things
But
that
there's
it
going to be
benefit.
responsibility within the community because it
yes.
is a community.
Yes.
So certain behaviors, are being written right now just for us as a community as we speak, as we talk about it, what we're setting up. You're going to have an expectation of attitude, not just the compliance with the licensing,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
being like you guys are talking about sharing. Being inclusive, that's a part of it. So you're going to people's businesses will be
Yes.
held accountable
Yes.
to how are you with the community. It's like
Well, I think
Yeah.
saying that
Partnerships
and just off jump, sitting here and hearing you speak, for you to say you're introvert, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Because you
Oh, yeah.
speak very well, but it's why it's because you're passionate about it. So that
Right.
passion
See,
helps you
that's-
to do that.
yes,
So
yes,
It
that's
definitely
honestly
Yeah.
shows in your
Yes.
voice. You can hear
So-
The passion just
It drives
yeah,
It
and I
takes
get I
over.
get
It
chills
takes
because
over.
that's the same
what
way
it
that I
is.
feel, about the industry and when I speak about it. So I can't wait to continue to see you, on your journey. I feel blessed to have met you, and he will definitely be a guest again, because he has a lot of information, and I think that he
Pass the
delivers it in a
test.
great way.
Hey.
Yes, So I'm so very happy. So
Thank
really
you for having
quickly,
me.
because our conversation and our time goes so quickly, but we have a couple more things to talk about. I want you to be able to give whatever information you want to, so that anybody out there watching or listening, if they felt connected to what you were saying and they want to know more, that they can get in contact with you. So you can shout out your IG
those IG
or
handles
whatever.
out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shout out my IG. It's a Cannabis Bo. That is a CANNABIZ Bo. Did I spell that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Cannabis.
I know. Look, that's a purpose, be able to
But
be out
if
there
you
and do
if
that.
you like to, if what I said kind of interests you, I'm completely trying to help my community. I'm not asking for any money. I'm not asking for ownership out of your company. I just want us to build a team and a network, so that way we could compete against these other networks out there. So definitely hit me up on my IG.
Nice.
You
I
know,
love that.
let's get to building this empire all together.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Like I
Let's
say,
build it.
let's be a future force and movement, for
Together.
decades to come, years to come.
May the
So
force be with
I love that, and like I said, I will be having you back as a guest definitely. I think you'll
Would
fit
love to
in,
be back.
to everything that we're going to be talking
This is
about
so
and the whole
wonderful up
lifestyle.
here. Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
right?
I don't
Nice
even
and
know why I was
It's
nervous.
dope.
Right?
Like,
This
see,
is
y'all
what
don't
we
even
try
need to
to
be
do.
nervous, man. Y'all just
Right?
come
Don't be
do what it
nervous.
do.
Hey, come, let
We're
us know.
so
Let us know what we can do.
nice, like,
You know?
Nothing
It all
to
just
worry
flow
about.
real fluid.
Yes.
You gotta be now,
So we do have a couple other things to talk about in this limited time. I could continue to talk and listen and talk about this topic and just many others for hours, but
Right.
we can't do that. People got places to be tonight.
Right, that's
So
the EP.
couple of things I wanted to to shout out with my MariJayne Maven Says is I wanted to talk about we're talking about entrepreneurship, and I want to talk about one young man. He is 8 years old, and he has a clothing line called Jack Sav, and he is coming out with a T-shirt line, and the T-shirt line is designed to uplift the young kings and queens of our community. And so each shirt has just a statement about what it is to be young, black,
That's
and powerful
what
or
we
educated.
need.
I love
And
that. need to
I
get all
am
those
going
shirts.
to go ahead and be
Yes.
honest. It's my
So,
baby, my son.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yes,
Oh my
he
goodness.
he is a little
That's
entrepreneur, but
exciting.
that's coming
I
out
love
soon.
that.
So
Yeah.
he asked me if he could have a little shout out on my show, and
Oh,
I promised him that
Shout
he
out
could.
to
So
you, man.
I
Shout
wanted
out
to do
to-
that. And then I want to talk about our Ganja Game Changer of the Week. I found out the other day that there's going to be a festival, and that is coming up November 29th and 30th at Cal Expo, and it's called the Give Thanks Festival. And it is being put on and sponsored by Colas. And so, one, they are bringing another festival to Sacramento, but two, they're bringing Cascade, and I love Cascade, right?
Yes, thank
Man,
you.
EDC can't even get Cascade
And
during
anymore,
EDC time.
right? So
Excited.
shout out to Colas, everything that they're
shout
doing.
out to
I know
Colas
I'm very
for
familiar and
Cascade.
close with a lot of their staff. They're awesome people.
They are.
Regardless of any news things that's been going around about Colas in the recent times, I can tell you they are made up of awesome people, and they're doing a great thing with all of their locations here in Sacramento. So what we're gonna wrap up, but we're gonna have to kind of kick off, maybe jump over our Stay Sane with MariJayne movement. I think if I want to say anything is that MariJayne has helped me to feel better and not cough all the way through today's episode. So I will give a shout out there. But I know we want to kind of talk about some, pop information or some local stuff going on. So really quickly, you ladies have anything to share? Anything about any, pop culture, cannabis culture, anything
Yeah,
like that?
Yeah. So, we were just talking about it like earlier before the show. It was just brought to my attention. I saw the video of Bad Baby and Will Vicky, so we was talking about as far as
Yes.
the fight there. So that was
Goodness.
topic of conversation on
I
that.
mean, and that's kind of like,
She caught her inside.
Oof.
It seemed like.
It
Whoa,
wasn't-
Vicky
she
went,
didn't
whoa,
get caught
like,
outside. She was caught
man.
inside.
Look.
Got that.
Well,
But that
Vicky
little
put
girl's
the
You
pockets
hitters
know,
are
on
pretty
they
her.
funny.
act like they do more than smoke.
I'm sure Vicky does seem
Bad
like she does.
Baby would have got her. That was just my personal.
She does a lot of this, I
opinion.
guess, I guess she doesn't stay with those people and kick it with that same neighborhood and those people that she kicked it with when she was on Dr. Phil acting all bad. She's all LA now. The girl has,
Right, she's
I'm not mad at her. I watched her like, before they were famous, or I watched this dude, Michael McCrudden. shout him out on YouTube. But he does these great before they're famous or after or whatever. And he was talking about how much he's worth, a rich life. And I was like, damn, that little girl has some money for 3 years, you know.
Okay.
Not saying that's how
That's
anybody
a-
needs to
it's a
get
very
famous or popular,
profitable
but it
business,
is.
what they do.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
doing well in it. So,
She exploited to the max.
yeah,
She's-
yeah. She, you know.
So is the fight fake?
I don't
We'll
think
see.
it was fake,
We'll
but
see.
I just think. Nah,
You
I
never
don't
know.
I mean, I don't know how she
know.
would.
People
Not
be
staged,
perpetrating the
but, like,
fraud. People
yeah.
be perpetrating
Hey.
fraud for attention. So sometimes I'll be
been.
like,
So,
okay.
you know, some boxing is staged, you know, as well. So
Right.
maybe that's a little bit of that. I don't know. But that was something that you did bring in that kind of brightened my day a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
That's
It was a
funny.
little
Love
good
it.
ratchet, you know, info for the day.
Exactly.
Covered our ratcheteer info for the day. But did you have anything, Vita, or?
No, I was like, oh man, well, what were you telling me about DJ Khaled? Because
Oh no, Suge Knight and that.
Oh,
whole thing?
yes,
Oh
like,
yeah.
what is
So
that?
really quickly, I'll just kind of end on this and a little piece of nugget for you guys to go research. But I guess Suge Knight, he sold or either gave all of his life rights over to Ray J.
How and why? How you gonna sign your life over? Like, I don't understand.
I'm you know, Ray J has
Ray
some money
J?
though.
Yeah.
Ray J has some money, so I'm assuming
Ray
it's
J,
probably
though?
to maybe like do some branding or do like a
out of
biopic
all
I
or
thought
something.
his last business venture just flopped, but
It gotta be a major.
Well, he's coming out.
flop
He's coming
if
into
he over
cannabis
here
too.
trying to sign
Ray's
lives away.
J's. He's coming out with his own pre-rolls called Ray's J's. So I mean,
That's
yeah,
cute at
yeah.
least. I mean,
Okay.
it's an accessory
Diversifying,
product. I'm
I
fine.
see.
I
Right.
like it.
I
I like the
like
Ray's
So-
J's.
Ray's
I'm
J's.
with
Yeah.
I
those.
like the
Yeah.
name. It's-
I'm
I
not
don't
hating
know
on
about
Brandy's
the
little
Suge
brother.
if
Knight.
it got
That
cannabis
marketer.
in it, yeah, they gonna buy it.
Yeah, I'm not hating on Brandy's little brother. You know, I'm gonna take it back. Now, actually, it's more of like I was telling my husband on the way here. It's actually more like, oh, who? Moesha's brother? Like,
Oh, no.
you know, and he's
Dang.
kind of he's a little bit bigger. You would have never been able to tell me when he had For the Love of Ray J that we would still be talking about Ray J right now. But actually, we could because that show was
The
actually kind of
danger
lit.
was bad.
Man.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, we should talk. We
Why
should
do
have
you
a
that
whole
tattoo on your face,
episode where we
though?
get lit and we talk about old reality shows when they were good.
Oh, yeah.
When they
We
were
could
good.
talk all
Flavor
night.
of
Oh,
Love
okay.
was the
Oh,
one.
man. Remember when
Oh,
Pumpkin
yeah.
when
What
Pumpkin
was her
spit
name?
Last
Queen or
reality
what was her
show.
name?
New York.
New York.
New
That's what I'm talking about.
York.
Yes.
Yeah.
When the girl
Oh,
Pumpkin spit at her.
Yeah,
You remember that?
yes,
So
like that's
good.
like that old school.
Man,
reality
That stopped the
show
hood.
drama.
Everybody was talking about
Man,
that. Like,
y'all
hey,
got
see that spit?
Yeah,
That loogie?
right. Y'all got Are You the
You know what I
One
would've
We
now?
still talking about
and
it
shit
years
like that.
later. Like,
Man.
Are you the one?
Y'all got
Naked
y'all
and
reality shows,
afraid.
right? They're so horrible. So, all right, guys. So we could get we're on a whole nother topic here, but I do want to thank our guest here and
Thank
someone
you.
who will be
Thank
a
you.
repeat guest.
Oh,
I'm
thank
sure
you
our
for
fans,
having
you know,
me.
those who are watching, they probably would be very happy to have you on the screen again.
yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
easy on the
Yes.
eyes, and you have a lot of good stuff to say.
Yes.
And I can't say thank you enough. You know, and
I just wanted to thank you for doing what you're doing because events like the Brick House and what you're doing here is spreading knowledge and information to our folks, and that's power, like you guys
what I
said.
need.
You
Yes.
know?
Eradicate,
So
educate,
thank you.
elevate.
Yes. So
educate,
don't
educate,
forget
eradicate, elevate. There you go. There you go.
Yes.
That's
Got that Turk.
twerk, twerk.
Turks and twerks.
Yes, yes.
Turks.
Plus our other event
Tongue
coming up.
twister.
Yes, we're gonna have a nice woman event coming up, and we'll be
Yes.
talking about it more next week. Yes.
Ooh, hopefully
So
we have some more live singing there. That was,
You know?
that was
Oh,
actually
yeah,
good.
definitely.
yes. Shout out. That was good.
Yes.
We had some good performances. So, you know, I try to bring I call it edumatainment
Performance
together. Hashtag that. Let's start sharing that, everybody. Edumatainment. You educate, right? Trademark.
Trademark.
No.
See, there you go.
So, but once again, thank you to everyone who has tuned in again. Once again, if you would like to follow, if you're not, first and foremost, please go subscribe to our YouTube channel,
Do
like
that.
our episodes, subscribe,
Yes.
follow all of us on social media
Yes, yes.
at the MariJayne Maven, Ménage with the MariJayne podcast as well.
Yes,
With no podcast, but it is a podcast. So I'm just saying, at Ménage with the MariJayne. Got my husband over here, my other producer, mouthing at me. And I thought that's what I said. That's what I said. Ménage with the MariJayne Maven. That's right. Isn't that? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, babe. So, and we also
follow
have At
that.
the Colors of Cannabis. Yes, go follow that as well as my girl here,
Vita
Yes.
bringing you live.
right? At Too Sexy.
And
And
Lacey B, and that's at Lacey B.
all right. So we will see you next time. Once again, thank you so much. And don't forget, everything that you want to do is with power. Knowledge is power. So
Yes,
MariJayne Maven
yes.
is all about that. Educate, eradicate, and elevate.
Elevate.
Have a good night, guys.